G'day Darkrealmers, it's horror author and illustrator Michael J. Elliott here with you again, and today I've got a creepy Neighbour from Hell movie for you. Okay, hey, if this is your first time to the Diaries, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us, and if you want to keep up with the best horror reviews in books, movies, creepypasta and trivia, then hit the subscribe button and the bell notification and you'll always be up to date with our latest videos. Okay, Darkrealmers, now this movie is a great little creep fest. It's relies very much on tension and suspense to get the horror through, okay? So let's take a look at The Neighbour. Yeah! The Neighbour was made in 1993. That's 24 years ago. Can you believe that, Darkrealmers? Where has the time gone? But don't worry, this movie holds up really well, even by today's movie standards, okay? Now, it stars Rod Steiger, the former Mrs. Crocodile Dundee, stroke Paul Hogan, Linda Kozlowski, and John Lea. And the movie starts off in Vermont in 1943, and the director has really cleverly gone for a muted palette in the lighting and colours, because he's made it very sepia. He hasn't washed out all the colours, but just enough to draw us into that time frame. And we see a pregnant woman on a porch swing and her young son's there, and he's playing with a hand puppet on her tummy, and she's saying, "You won't hurt the baby, would you?" And he's going, no, mummy, I love you, mummy, and everything. Now, this kid's not doing anything wrong, but straight away you get this, "I don't like this child, he is creepy beyond belief," okay? Well, that is really how wonderful the director's done this, and the young child actor too, because, yeah, if you can get that just from the opening scene where, the child's not doing anything really harmful, and the mother's there saying, "You have to be the man of the household now." And what we discover is that her husband was in, pardon me, Darkrealmers, in the forces and has been killed. And so this young child is very protective of his mother. Now, in the next scene, the mother's having a bath where something goes wrong and the baby comes early. But what happens is she dies in childbirth. And then we cut to a scene where the young boy's aunt says, "Come on, it's time for the funeral." And there's his young brother in the crib crying. And he just looks at this young brother and grabs a pillow. And that's terrifying, because that sets up the whole movie, Darkrealmers. It really does. So we know this young boy has this attitude. He blames his young brother for his mother's death. He wants nothing to do with his young brother, and he thinks life would be better without him. Okay, cut to the present. And the director still kept that sort of muted palette, but up the colours a little bit. Now, I don't know whether this is because he's trying to suggest the season, which is warm, or maybe the semi-rural setting of Vermont. I'm not sure, but it works really, really well in this movie, okay? Now, we have John and Mary, and they're out house hunting, and they come across this dilapidated old house. And she says, "Stop, let's have a look." And he says, "No, it's full." And she said, "No, let's just check it out." Well, we know from the way the movie has brought us forward that this is the old house of the young boy whose name was Myron. And they go up into this house, which is unlocked, and they start looking around. And just as they're getting all comfy and, all cosy, in walks Rod Steiger, the adult Myron, and of course they're shocked. And he says, "No, don't be shocked. I live next door. My name's Myron Haskell. This is my old home." "Oh, are you selling it?" Well, he sells it to them for a bargain price of $140,000, okay, even though it needs a lot of fixing up. And the reason he does that is because when he lays eyes on Linda Kozlowski, she is the image of his mother. And so we know, okay, this is going to be interesting, okay? Well, from there, Darkrealmers, Myron gradually worms his way into their lives. Now, Myron is an obstetrician, and when he finds out that Linda Kozlowski's pregnant, he says, "Oh, well, I'm an obstetrician, I can look after you." And she's already a little bit on edge about this guy, okay? And she says, "No, I no offence to you, but I prefer a female, obstetrician. That's no problem. I can set you up with, one of my colleagues at the clinic. It's wonderful." Now, one of the scariest scenes I've seen, and I'm a male, and ladies, this will, well, for everyone really, but for females, ladies, you've had children, you've gone through all those, sort of appointments and ultrasounds and everything. Well, she goes for her appointment, and the receptionist says, "Look, sorry, Doctor, I think it's Sutherland, has been taken away on an emergency at the hospital." And there's Myron. "Don't worry, I'll look after you." And he practically railroads her into the examination office, and he says, "Right, we're going to give you an amniocentesis." And she's a little bit worried straight away because it's very early on in her pregnancy, and he says, "No, don't worry, and so she's torn. We get this, well, he knows what he's doing, but I'm still a little bit creeped out. Then he starts giving her an ultrasound, and he's injected her with this needle, and we see this needle getting closer and closer to the baby, and it's like, oh my God, he's planning on killing the baby. That becomes apparent, okay? And it's just frightening. That scene alone is just mind-blowing, Darkrealmers. Well, of course, Linda Kozlowski at the last minute says, no, I'm not happy with this, and pushes him away, which ultimately takes the needle out. Well, it becomes obvious then that Myron is fixated with Linda Kozlowski, and that he, just like his mother, he wants this baby out the way. And what he goes through, he breaks into their house and he substitutes her pregnancy vitamin pills for something deadly. Now, it doesn't explain exactly what it is, but it's probably something designed to cause her to maybe miscarry or something like that anyway. And he's always there. He's always around, and I can help you. And you get that strong sense, Darkrealmers, that, oh, no, look, he's being a bit too helpful. No, not really keen, okay? Now, Linda Kozlowski, her character is very much, she knows that there's something not quite right about this guy, okay? And there's scenes there that build up. For example, he meets, when the movie opens, he meets their schnauzer dog, beautiful dog, and she calls it Baby. But even the dog doesn't like Myron because, and I've always said in movies, Darkrealmers, when a dog starts growling at you, yeah, keep your eye on that one, because pets are really good judges of character, okay? Well, I won't spoil it by telling you what happens, but she hears, later on in the movie, she hears Baby crying, and she goes into Myron's house, and she goes down, and she hears the dog trapped behind a door. Now, when she runs out to try and get something to free the dog, Myron says, saying, "No, there's no dog in there." And her husband's like, "Oh, come on, you maybe heard something, or he's maybe, the sound's carried or whatever." Well, by the time they get down there, the dog's gone. Now, I won't tell you what happens, but oh my God, it's just creepy. Anyway, Darkrealmers, things build up and progress, and there are scenes that don't just involve Linda Kozlowski and her, her interaction with Myron. John is having a lot of trouble at work, and his boss is a complete arsehole and is trying to humiliate him and make him lose his job. And he turns around to Myron and says, well, you know, if I lose my job, we're going to have to move to the city, back to the city. And of course, that doesn't fit in with Myron, because even though it's not mentioned, we get this strong indication that he feels he's going to, you know, have, you know, Linda Kozlowski's character, or to himself, you know. I'm not sure whether he's picturing a sexual relationship with her or he's looking at her as a mother figure. I don't know. But it's creepy enough anyway, Darkrealmers. So Myron says, well, that's no good. Well, look, you know, I hope things work out. Well, of course, he's going to make sure that they don't move back to the city. And he goes to his boss's house and says, look, I'm having a problem with this guy. Maybe we could work out something together to, you know, maybe make him leave. And the boss says, oh, yeah, come in. Well, he poisons the boss, and that's it. It's like, okay, there's nothing this guy's not going to stop, you know, no lengths he'll go to stop his obsession. Now, of course, Linda Kozlowski's husband, when she starts mentioning her fears about Myron, and I think he's trying to harm the baby and everything like that, of course, it's the typical, I think you may be a bit paranoid, and of course you're pregnant and your hormones are all over the place. And I don't know why in movies husbands automatically, you know, blame a woman's pregnancy, or you know, oh, you're just a woman. That's it. To me, it's a little bit sexist. It's like, okay, I can understand, Darkrealmers, that, look, you wouldn't leap to the, you know, straight away go, that bastard, I'll get him for you. But I always think that the husbands or the partners should be a little bit more open-minded in these movies, okay? But it's only when he finds his boss's watch in his car that he thinks, I didn't put this there. And he's already under suspicion for the murder of his boss. And that's when he realises that Myron has done this, you know. Now, I won't tell you how it ends, Darkrealmers, but this is a great little thriller, okay? Now, Amber, you can watch this, I guarantee you, because there's no blood, no gore. It's just based on solid fear and tension and ratcheting up the terror every time we see Myron. You know, Linda Kozlowski's there, you know, doing something, she turns around and he's there. And that's what makes movies great. It's where you don't have to do much to frighten the audience, and because we know what he is and we know what he's up to, you get drawn in thinking, come on, oh God, I hope nothing happens to the baby. So it's a really great little thriller, Darkrealmers. Now, I caught it here on YouTube, and it's also available on DVD. So check it out if you like a good little tension-filled suspense drama. I'd call it, more than anything else, but it's really, really well done, okay? Well, there you go, Darkrealmers. That's my review of The Neighbour. A great little thriller. I hope you've enjoyed the review. If you have, pardon me, give us a thumbs up. And have you seen it yourself? What did you think of it? And maybe has this review made you interested in catching it for yourself, okay? All right, Darkrealmers. Well, thank you so much for joining me for my review. And I'll be back again soon with another review, whether it be book, movie, some trivia, some creepypasta in our next video. But until then, this is Michael J. Elliott saying, stay in the light. Bye for now.